What's up, guys? It's us, the Jonas Brothers, on the Zach Sang Show.
Talked about a lot of fun stuff. Make sure you don't miss it, because if you do, we'll be very unhappy with you.
Don't
Extremely.
disappoint us.
Don't disappoint us.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Beautiful humans. We are joined in the studio by Joe, Kevin, and Nick. Jonas!
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Dude, I'm thriving over here. Really, the question is, how are you three doing in this, how would you describe this phase of your life?
I mean, this phase of our life is pretty exceptional at the moment. We're having a great time. Getting back together has just been kind of a whirlwind over the last couple weeks. I guess it's been about a month and a half now. But between the announcement and then Sucker coming out and seeing people's reaction to that, I mean, we had high hopes and expectations. But I think, the fans' reaction and maybe people that weren't fans coming and showing the love they've shown has just been really incredible.
What expectations did you have before, even beyond releasing the record? Even when you were having serious conversations about getting back together, did you set expectations? Did you set goals for yourselves?
I asked like a year ago. Do you think anybody will even care? Like I said that to them. Like there was expectations of, we would hope that people would be interested not only in like our past, sure, but like where we are going and the new music. And I think spending the time that it took to figure out what we needed as like brothers to be able to do this again, was the most important thing, and I think it led to being able to be where we are today.
Are you telling a different story in your music this time around?
Definitely. We're all in different stages of our lives. I think we were very aware in the creative process that whatever we sang about, whatever stories we told, had to be truly authentic to this chapter of our life that we're in. And I think, so far, Sucker and Cool do that. The themes that we're speaking about and kind of the way in which we're saying things, I think has to be really true to our voice and what we want to say. And we teamed up with Ryan Tedder, who really helped us craft that vision creatively, and also Greg Kirsten and a handful of others that really became a huge part of the journey we went on with the music.
By the way, Genuine is the reason why we're still lucky enough to have this conversation, and the reason you guys are still around. Those records before, I mean, those are written majority by the three of you. It was one producer, John Fields, and there was obviously a relationship that had formed between you guys, the producer, and a couple people come and go, record to record, but the consistents were the three of you. Whose idea was it to go to Ryan Tedder, or did he come to you? Because it's a big position to fill, right? That next John Fields position?
Definitely. It's kind of a scary place to hand over to anyone. And I think Nick was working on a song with him, with somebody else, and just the vibe with Ryan has always been really nice. I've seen him a bunch of times backstage at shows, and we spoke about the opportunity to work together, but obviously Ryan Tedder's crushing it right now. I mean, he's done so much amazing songwriting and production for people. So to get in the room with him and Greg Kirsten as well has been such a blessing. And I think with Ryan in particular, like he is like that. We keep saying he's the fifth brother at this point, because he got the vision of what we were trying to create, and he dove in with us and said, okay, you know what, I know what you guys are trying to achieve, and he just elevated it.
My biggest worry when I was getting ready to listen to Sucker was that it was going to be something totally different. And it's everything that I'm used to. It's the perfect mixture of the past and the present, the drums, the live instruments, your conversational lyrics. I mean,
thanks, man.
It's all the same. And it really, I don't know, man, it made me really freaking happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Because there is an opportunity for you to really be morphed and changed by 2019 and what else is out there. Does it take you guys reaching the highest heights and then taking a break to then understand what makes Jonas Jonas, so then when it's time for you to do it again, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know all the moves, you know the sound, you know the story, you know how to communicate with your fans.
Right. It was definitely like trial and error at first writing again together. We would go into the studio with different producers and writers and say, like, they'd be like, hey, what kind of song do you want to write today? And we're like, we have no idea. We don't even know what this is going to sound like. To mix the combination of the growth between Nick's solo stuff and DNCE and trying to find a nice healthy blend and what that would be like in this day and age where it's also competitive on radio and things like that. And it still kind of tips the hat musically to stuff that we did for 15 years.
timeless records. A lot of those songs.
Thank you.
I mean, do you sit here and think the same? Is there a record from any record you've ever released that you know will stand the test of time?
I don't know if we know the answer to that question. I mean, I think we've always been conscious about trying to write things that we'll be able to sing for a very long time. And there are some lyrics that, when we dove back into the old material, kind of in rehearsals and everything else, that don't really hold up. Speaking about very specific things like instant messenger and walking the halls at school and things like that.
Hold your hand.
Yeah.
Like so excited.
Which we kind of felt like, all right, with this new music, let's make sure it's stuff that we can sing forever and that really connects with people on that level. And I don't know, it's been fun just creating. And I think Sucker, as an example, was sort of a perfect marriage of DNCE's sound and my solo sound coming together to create the Jonas Brothers sound in 2019. I think hats off to Ryan for helping us find that.
Do you ask Jane Fonda for permission before you just decide to use her name?
No, we didn't. Maybe we should have, but we didn't. We asked her to be in the video. I think she was busy, but we did ask her to be in the video.
Darn it.
So she's aware of the song, I guess.
That's good. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Post Malone too, Yeah.
Post Malone and Game of Thrones.
That was
all getting shout outs.
Good shout
Right.
outs.
You returned that Post Malone shout out from, what is it, Better Now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whose idea
We felt
was
it
that?
was only right. It kind of was one of those songs that came last in the bulk of the music that we have. We were just loving it. It was just a funny day. Like we're just, even lyrically, we're just messing around, making jokes, and then the song kind of came together.
So, how has your process changed creatively? Do you come up with lyrics before you enter the studio? Do you enter the studio blank slate?
So it's always different.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
depends.
that day in particular with Cool was kind of an idea that the guys were staying with me here in LA. We were sitting in my living room and just started kind of messing around with the melody first and the overall vibe. And then when we got in, I think it evolved to, with everything we're doing with this new music, we want to try to bottle up happiness and make people smile. And there's so much negativity in the world. Like if we can be a conduit to good times and people feeling good about themselves, that's a win. So Cool was just a message of like, everyone should be able to wake up in the morning, feel like $1 million, go outside and have their anthem for that moment. And Cool kind of became that.
You got 30 to 40 records, apparently. That's what you guys have said, done. I've also heard the potential of 2 albums. Are all these records happy? Are they all bottled up happiness?
With different forms, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely like some real themes in there, and even
Some heart and
yeah, I think our real lives are kind of a reflection of our music, and or our music, sorry, is a reflection of our real lives, and that's 3 guys who are in very serious relationships, married, 2 of us, and one's about to be married. So our music has to be a reflection of that and tell those stories. So it's everything from the best moments to the challenging moments and moments where you just want to dance with your partner, your other half, and enjoy life.
Does it ever get easier to put a song out into the world that you know is about someone?
Well, when it's your wife, it's a lot easier.
it kind of shows true in like Sucker, right? Like having them in the video
Yeah.
and having that support, and that was such a great way for us to like really kick this off as a team, as a family, and having them be a part of it and their willingness to be a part of it too. Like they all have their own schedules and lives and doing their thing too, and so to be able to come together for those couple days and actually film that thing and just be so comfortable on set too,
It's special.
like completely let loose, and I think that's a lot of the magic in that video.
Does this feel like a family business again?
I don't even know if it feels like so much a business. It just feels like the dream that you kind of said, all right, this is not going to ever happen again, and be cool with it. And then it comes back around. And it's even more exciting because we're on such good terms with each other and we have a better way of communicating. This time around is a lot more fun. And playing those old song again, it's that much more exciting. Getting up on stage, we played a show in Minneapolis a few days ago for March Madness, and seeing those songs and how they affect certain fans, that's what it's about. And you never thought you'd play them again. So to be able to have that opportunity, it's a dream.
What record do you play now that brings back the happiest memory?
From our old stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's challenging. I mean, the show, because we really only have played one real show. We did a couple warm-up shows, but the show was last weekend was out of control. So much energy, and the fans were just blowing our minds. But it kind of comes in waves. You have the moments where you can tell there's songs that were a part of the fabric of people's lives growing up, and now at the show as adults, it means something different to them. And in some ways, I feel like it's even more meaningful maybe than it was then.
100%.
And it's the same way for us. We wrote these songs when we were in our teen years, and to be able to then sing them again as adults, it's a totally different meaning. So things like Love Bug and even Year 3000 is something where it's like somehow that song means something to people in a way that like we could never have predicted, and we get to just enjoy it now. Whereas before there was probably some insecurities as we started to grow up about like the adolescence of that lyric and everything else, but we're comfortable enough in our own skin now and as adults to be able to really just sing and have fun with it with the audience, and it's really special.
Hey, beautiful human. I'm sorry for the interruption, but this is kind of important. Texting and driving isn't just a dangerous problem, it's deadly. And if you drive while distracted, you are 3 times more likely to crash. But far too many people still don't recognize the danger. Did you know that when you send or receive a text, you take your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds? And if you're driving 55 miles per hour, that's like driving more than the length of a football field with your eyes closed. This isn't a joke. Between 2012 and 2017, nearly 20,000 people died in crashes involving a distracted driver. And if your own safety isn't enough of a reason to stop driving while distracted, here's another one. It's also illegal. That's why cops are writing tickets to anyone caught texting while driving. And they're doing it to save lives. So remember, if you text while driving, you will get caught. You drive, you text, you pay. What is a record like a little bit longer mean to you now that it didn't mean to you before?
We haven't played that one live yet. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I mean, I think the fans kind of dictate what our experience is in a lot of ways, and they're the ones that we know, they're familiar with because they were singles or whatever else. But some of the deeper album cuts and things like that, I'm really excited to see that reaction. That's why, as we kind of put together a potential set list for a tour, we want to leave a lot of space for fans to call out their favorite songs and for us to play those. We went and saw Garth Brooks, and he does a whole point in his show where it's 30, 40 minutes of just fan requests, and you can see that. It means so much to him and the fans.
It makes every show unique no matter what. And it doesn't matter. Like sometimes you can get into a rut if you're on a tour and you're doing so many shows in a week.
Yeah, it's so nice to change it up.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to throw something in there that like is, super deep cut, but it's just fun.
Are you singing on any records? Can we hear your voice on a record in this new era of Jonas?
I'm definitely singing on the records, but not sure where it'll all land yet.
So many people want to know.
Oh, well, I'm here.
They demand it. How's it been going so far? Like being away from home and working again? I mean, not saying you weren't working before.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's
It's definitely a change. It's an adjustment. It's more time away. It's harder. Kids, they're growing up. You don't want to miss that time.
Yeah.
I miss Danielle a lot. But, they're going to come out. They're going to do that thing. We travel. But it's, we want to keep their normal lives too. Like they have their structure, and you just got to find the balance. And I think every day is a challenge to find that, but we're all here supporting each other. Like Danielle is like, whatever you got to do, I'm here for it, and let's make this thing happen. So it's been a blessing for sure. It's just, loving all of this. So it's kind of like, whatever. It's awesome.
Do your kids understand what you do yet?
I think so. Yeah, they definitely do. They haven't seen us live just because the whole scenario hasn't been like perfect for them to come to a venue yet. They're still pretty young. They're 5 and 2. So it's kind of that thing. But they were on FaceTime. I think I posted a video of it, but they were on FaceTime the other night when we were going on in Atlanta, and just after the show, seeing their reactions, like to like us coming out on stage and stuff, like it's mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's special that you get to share it with your kids. Like while you're saying that, I'm thinking back to like when I went with my mom to go and see you guys for the first time at Prudential Center. Well, technically, my second concert ever was the 3 of you at Willowbrook Mall in New Jersey.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That was
At
first,
the FYI.
Yes.
Who beat us to the punch? Who was the first?
No, Bruce Springsteen at
Wow.
Giant Stadium.
That's incredible.
We probably were at the same show with you.
It was a great show. He had done, I think, 4 or 5 dates, and he was doing like 4 hours a night, like just non-stop going. It's f***ing crazy to watch
it's
that man
nuts.
perform. But I remember that so vividly, and that was just so many memories I got to share with my parents and my mom, and my sister, surrounded around your music. There is true meaning here, and it's cool to just see it all come together.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Having them, it's a whole new environment to have them a part of this. And like Danny has been with me through all of it, right? She was there from 2007, 2000. So
Special.
Seeing it now and it's changed again for us in a different way is really cool.
College, was it cool being doing a college show, feeling like the coolest on campus?
Yeah, I mean, you talking about the Penn State one?
Yes.
That champs.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So awesome.
Our manager, Phil McIntyre, longtime manager, and a bunch of people on our team who are also some of our closest friends for many, many years are from State College. And so we've kind of got roots there, weirdly, over the past 15 years, having just been there many times with them and, becoming friends with a lot of their friends. So Joe has been championing champs during this Barstool Best Bar thing online. And so as a way to kind of push it over the edge, we were thinking, like, let's go
Supposed
and
to know if they won the next
show
round.
up. Huh?
See if they won the next round. Any minute we'd know.
Supposed to be announced.
Look at you, the power you have, sir.
I mean, I was just trying to encourage
But it was a wild night.
everyone
I mean,
else.
it was wild.
But any part of you feel like you miss out on those moments? Like wish you went to college and
Kind of got to do some pretty cool stuff.
yes, you totally
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure that at times there was things like, oh, I wish you could have done that, whatever. But I don't know. We're kind of doing it now and kind of doing it the way we want. It's pretty awesome.
it's a whole different sort of college and high school experience and school.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice to go and study certain things, but our little brother actually just graduated. Our youngest brother, Frankie, graduated. Now has his degree to be a studio engineer,
That's so crazy.
and he's moving out here to LA, and he's going to start working at recording studios. So
He's the only one.
he's the only one that graduated. So he can hold that over our heads forever.
Yep.
You guys gonna let him produce your music?
I mean, he says that his focus is more in engineering, which is
Okay.
cool. So, definitely engineer sessions and stuff. If he wants to produce, be happy to work with him and show him and get him involved.
A record like Burning Up, I think it's timeless. You might
Thank
think,
you.
Do you agree? Do you want a song like that to last forever?
Yeah.
Sure,
Of course.
We want all our songs to last
We've been
forever.
opening our set with that,
Every-
and it's just nuts.
Yeah, it's,
To open a set with that song is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Where's Big Rob at?
Big Rob is working. He's worked with a lot of different people. He was working with The Weeknd for a while, and then
Normani right now.
Yeah, he's on the Ariana tour.
oh, that's right. So he's always around, but we FaceTime him quite often. I mean, he was with us for 4th of July this year,
That was cool.
so that was fun. And he lost his voice, so he barely could be heard, but he's the man.
You keep him on the record every time you perform. No, none of you decide to take on that rap verse.
The fans do it. So
Yeah, they do.
we play it, we play it in the speakers as we perform, but the fans sing it, like every single word, which is phenomenal. I mean, Big Rob rapping is like not something that, when looking back on it, I really don't know how it happened, but it did, and then it's become a thing. So we just let it ride.
Forever. How do you measure success today?
I think enjoying the ride and having fun and understanding that, for us, this is really a second bite at the apple, and it feels even better already than the last time because we're in a healthy place, and I think we're all prioritizing the right things, and that's our relationship with each other and our relationships with our individual families and circles we're creating, and that makes all of this more enjoyable, knowing that, on the home front, it's all locked in, and that way we can just go and have fun and play these shows, write this music, and share it with the world again, but with some real clarity on what our priorities are.
What are your priorities?
I think for me personally, I can only speak for myself, it's to maintain a healthy and great relationship with my family, my brothers, to have a great relationship with my wife and home life there, so that my art is a reflection of that and people feel my joy and happiness coming through. Doesn't mean that every song I'm ever going to write is going to be sunshine and rainbows, but I feel like right now I'm in a place where my idea of what success is really stemming from just my happiness and making the people around me happy as well.
And that's a big deal, right? Like you only get to that point with maturity,
I think so. With enough songs that don't work to to realize that it doesn't really matter. If a song works or not, or if the shows are all sold out, it's sort of like, are you content and happy to go home and live your life.
I get that.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, he said it best, but I agree. I would say the same thing. Also, taking certain time off, being able to just enjoy it. I think when we were younger, it was a lot of things moving so fast and not being able to appreciate what we had and the opportunities that we had. So now as adults, you appreciate it so much more because you're playing these shows. You're like, this doesn't happen often to play in front of these amount of people or to be played at on radio or have great relationships with each other. And again, of course, with my partner and having a great relationship with her, and I get to do this all over again with them, and that's just pure joy. And so I think for me, most importantly, is making sure to take some time and enjoy it and not let it go too fast.
And for you, I mean, success, you have kids, you created human beings. Like, that's a big deal.
It's about just continuing to stay like healthy in a mental capacity, in a relationship and all of that. But at the same time, it's also, we had so many times where we would have so much happening so fast in the past years that we couldn't like just sit back and enjoy the wins and enjoy the fun of that and then actually celebrate those things. So being able to do that, even like at Champs the other night, like just having, our partners there and like them partying just as hard with us because we're all just having fun. Like that's what it's about.
Instead of going right to the next, you have a chance to marinate in it. And
but
process.
So much marination.
That's
Marinationals.
Let it breathe.
Okay. Do you have anything like, are you writing on your own at all? Or are you solely writing the three of you? Do you, any of you have individual creative time and then come together and pitch different lyrics?
We haven't really had a lot of time for that, but we kind of said there's no rules this time around. DNCE can still exist and does exist while we do this. And I'm literally jumping between finishing 2 movies as we're kind of doing all this promo for the brothers. And I'm sure, there'll be music of my own, but like, we were so limited to the thinking before of like, it's just this or nothing, and now it can all exist and actually work for the greater good of everything. So I don't know. I mean, as far as songs go, no, there's nothing that I've written separate to this, but I'm always writing and writing a musical right now. So that's, I guess, one thing I'm writing separate, but
Whoa, that's really cool.
it's fun. It's a fun process.
Is that's a huge challenge? Yes or no? Something
Yeah,
new?
it's extremely hard, but already pretty rewarding. Like, it's where I started musical theater, and it's always been a dream of mine to write a show. And so it's just it's a slow process. We can get in the studio and write a song in 2 hours and it could literally be done that day. Whereas this is, years. It's like years of work, and hopefully it gets done in the next year or 2.
Are you going to star as well?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, but maybe. It depends. The role's older, so if it takes me 10 years to write it, then yeah, maybe I'll be in it.
What's it about?
I can't say,
Okay.
unfortunately, not because I'm trying to be like secretive or anything, but just because there's like a rights thing where until it gets totally sorted out, I don't want to blow the chances of getting it. But it's a great story.
Is doing something like that a way for you to keep it fresh and to kind of
Yeah,
keep
and
your
to
hurdles different?
get like really frustrated with the process. By keeping it fresh, you go, this sucks. I'm gonna move on to something else, and you come back to it, and
But it's the power of not giving up
exactly
and consistency, and you believe in it.
for sure.
Are you writing it on your own?
No, I have a writing partner for that,
Cool.
but it should be fun.
Tour and set list, you mentioned it. Really hard to put that thing together. Or how many songs are you thinking?
It's actually much easier because with DNC for the last 3 years, we only have about an album and a half worth of music.
Yeah.
And so to do like a 90-minute set was always really difficult. We were always adding like 5 or 6 cover songs.
But now
It's actually refreshing, to be honest. We have so much material to work with the band, and it's so great because we can just say, oh, let's play this one or that one, and you have to make it have a good flow. I think that's been the challenge for us, is being able to find a way that it's just not a bunch of songs that we want to play, but that the audience will also kind of know the lyrics, because there's a lot of new fans. Like the other day in Minneapolis, we asked the audience how many people it's their first Jonas Brothers show, and the majority of the crowd raised their hand. So I think there's a lot of new ears out there, and maybe some people that didn't feel the confidence to come to shows when they were younger, or they couldn't get themselves to a gig. Now they're all adults, and figuring out which songs we want to cater for them as well.
So you're doing the shows, you're hearing the reaction, but a majority of the albums are already done, right?
Yeah.
So do you second guess anything after you kind of see the way people flow? Are you listening to the records that are already done?
Yeah, but I think it's also once it's released, you kind of know what's working in the streaming
Yeah.
world as well. Like, you know, people can kind of like champion a song as a culture and kind of move the needle on it, and you kind of see that in real time a little bit too. So we'll see. You know, it hasn't come out yet, so we're waiting.
Are we going to release another single? Do we want to do an album?
There's definitely an album.
Okay.
The album will be coming this year at some point. And as far as another single goes, I think, you know, right now between Sucker and Cool, we're kind of like seeing where those
great.
go and when would be the right time to release another one. But we're anxious to get it all out there and you know, to get on the road, to be honest.
Any collaborations on this album?
No. I mean, as of right now, not really. And I think, you know, between our three voices and points of view already, there's sort of a full slate there. But doesn't mean that we can't take a song and flip it with another artist on it and give it new life or whatever. Like, we're down for whatever, but at the moment, there isn't really any features.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is the tour being planned?
Tour is being planned.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's like a whole plan and everything. It's so frustrating because we get so excited. We spend all our time talking about all the things when we're not in interviews that we're excited to do, and then when we get in interviews, we can't say the dates or like what the things are.
Yeah.
But know that they are all very exciting, and we'll tell you as soon as we can.
I got a lot of tweets from people asking for time on the date so they can take off multiple days from work so they can travel.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw a lot of that.
Save up those vacation days now.
Just take the whole summer off.
There you go.
You know.
What's really happening?
Quit your jobs.
That's the
main thing.
answer.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a plan when you decided to get back together, like a long-term plan of how many albums, how long you wanted to do it, or is it just taking it day by day?
I think we're just very inspired. So we're in the studio quite a bit. We're going to the studio after this. So any opportunity we have to get in there and write, we're going to do that. And it's fun right now for us. So if we need a little bit of a break, we'll take one. But we're not going to be planning out too many albums in advance. We just know that we have a lot of songs right now. Because before we announced this thing, it was a secret, obviously. So we had a lot of time for ourselves. And once we announced it, it made it a little bit more difficult to get into a studio to write or create. So we did the most work before all this got kind of out there. And so now we're thinking, well, if we can put 2 albums out, it'd be quite fun. But I think there's going to be some needed time to write again soon.
So this studio session you're going to after this, are you going in with anything planned? Do you have ideas?
It's a song that's already being worked on. We're finishing a song with Max Martin.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
big dog.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
He has a couple hits.
He's a good, a few. Changed music forever. He's really a national Swedish treasure and a national treasure here in America.
National Swedish and national American treasure.
Yeah, both. That's a big deal to have 2
Yeah.
titles like that.
How'd
We
you
call
guys
Nicolas
keep
Cage.
this whole thing a secret? Like, how did you not slip up?
We don't know how we actually kept it together. But
we know how we kept it together.
yeah, we just didn't.
People didn't leak it.
Yeah, those,
Yeah. There was like one moment, Joe kind of talked about it, that he thought it was going to, like, we started just, when we got very close, started just lying straight up to people.
Just being like, no, it's not happening.
But it was like, I think also the industry kind of knew, like, that radio stations knew it was coming and other things like that. But so I think they also felt like a sense of pride to be like in on the secret with us and like wanted it to be a thing to be announced. So it was, I think people were just like, all right, let it happen.
So Max Martin's your next session, but is Ryan Tedder still going to be involved on those types of records or no?
Well, he's EPing the album, but
Okay.
I think there's sort of an understanding that like a Max Martin, for instance, can kind of like
He knows what he's doing.
He's got
He had something special, I think.
Yeah.
He really does. And Savin, that whole team, special stuff. What are you thinking?
Well, are you guys ready for Joe's wedding, or are you weddinged out?
I'm good now.
You good? Had like a few weeks off?
Had a couple months for a break. And then
Yeah.
ready to
Back
jump
into
in.
it.
Ready to get back in that mindset.
I'm ready. I got my dancing shoes ready.
Yeah.
Is that planning fun, or is it more of like a get it done and I'll show up?
We got most of it figured out already. There's parts of it that I think just naturally are stressful, but you have to just allow yourself to enjoy the fact that you're doing this. It's not really, about all the little minor details. It's going to be great, and things are going to go wrong. But I enjoy the planning stuff. But at this point, I just like, all right, let's just make it happen. I don't like. I'm done thinking about it.
Is there anything you needed on your special day that you wouldn't budge on?
I mean, we're getting married in France, so a lot of Coors Light was necessary.
Fly it in.
Fly it in. Not hard to really get that, but
No.
we needed to make sure that was going to happen.
That was the only big.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ask.
Well, we learned a lesson from my wedding. Our friends drink a lot of beer, specifically, and we ran out of beer at the wedding, at my wedding, which was a big issue.
What do you do then? Like, do you send somebody out to go buy it?
It starts to get very dark very fast with hard alcohol instead.
The whole temperature's just
Yeah, it's just like,
changes.
oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Start taking shots.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much. There was a lot of that. Yeah.
Love obviously inspires your music today. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to hear the same way we've heard your love live out in your records, whether it's
Yeah.
Wedding Bells or Australia? Does that exist in the songs that are coming
For
soon?
sure.
Oh yeah.
I think they're like our love letters to our other halves and our fans.
That's beautiful.
That's nice, right?
Yeah,
I just thought of that just now.
it worked.
Thanks.
You feel connected to your fans still?
Oh, big time. Seeing those familiar faces off these shows so far, we've only done like 3 shows, but seeing their faces has just made us so happy. Some new people, but a lot of like fans we saw at shows way back when.
Why? Why do you think it's your music? What is it about your music that keeps people for literally decades? They've grown up with you, as you've grown up with them.
I think for most fans, it's the soundtrack to their lives. And you can think of music and artists that did that for you. I know I can think of 30, 40 songs off the top of my head that I go like, oh, this was an important day in my life, or this was an emotional day in my life. And it seems like when we play these shows and we see them react to certain songs, how it was a very important part of their part of them growing up. And it's an honor to be a part of that.
You're part of somebody's life.
Yeah.
Sick.
Would you guys ever play like any of your solo stuff or DNCE stuff on tour? Or
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
definitely.
just did. Like we
Okay.
played Jealous the other night and Cake, and it was awesome.
It's fun to mix those into.
Yeah, it's so
yeah.
dynamic, and then they kind of switch off vocals too, which is really a new way to hear the songs. And from like essentially, I'm a fan of that music, right? Like, so kind of like even performing it, but on the outside, and then hearing Joe sing one of the verses, and then Nick sing one of the verses of Cake, and like it definitely like I didn't expect to see it this way. So
Yeah.
it's really fun to watch.
Who I Am. Maybe you'll bring that back one day.
Oh yeah, we played that the other day too.
So good. How
There's
about-
so much music that we can play. That's actually part of the issue.
it's ridiculous.
Making a tight enough show that like feels like you're not just playing songs to play them, but it's hard because there's so much fun stuff we want to play.
Bounce. Will you bring that back?
Bounce.
Ooh.
Come on, classic.
That is a classic.
I like that idea.
You
Maybe
sit
that's
with
in
it.
the fan call out moment. We'll see.
Marinate with that one and let me know where it
I'll do
goes.
that.
Okay. Thank you, the Jonas Brothers, for hanging out.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Joe,
so
Kevin,
much
and
for having
Nick.
us.
Thank you.
You got a final thought, Dan?
I just want to know if anybody's approached you about a Camp Rock reboot now that you guys are back together.
Please.
Maybe like a Camp Rock SNL skit, I think.
That'd be good.
I think it's a little out of our age range, but
I'll
not
t-
opposed to like a spoof on it.
or Next Generation, man. The
There you
camp
go.
lives on.
Camp
Camp
Rock
lives
Juniors. Get Kevin's kids in there.
Yeah,
Mar-
give my kids like 5 more years.
They'll be ready to go. Marinate in that one too. The Jonas Brothers.
Thanks,
for
guys.
having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.